What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Soss.
What is up, one and all? We are actually recording this on the last day of the 2022 NFL Draft. I say that questioningly because I questioned myself on that just now. I don't know why. But welcome to episode 30. We are pretty excited about this one, especially since, well, man, I say excited. It's also kind of somber. I'm sure you'll notice by I'm sure the title of this video is going to give it away. But we're going to be talking about the biggest trades that have occurred during the NFL draft, which is kind of weird because I didn't think that the NFL draft was going to have a whole lot of fireworks going on, but it actually did. And unfortunately, one of my favorite players is no longer a Titan. That's right, AJ Brown. I had mixed emotions on initially whenever I saw that. Wasn't happy. I was pissed because it's like the best wide receiver that we've had that the Titans have had in pretty much almost, I wouldn't say their history because Derek Mason was really, really good and everything, but AJ Brown was a phenomenal player whenever he was on the field. And man, as soon as I saw, because I don't want to say that somebody ruined it for me, but so normally I'll give you guys a little background. I actually, every year on draft day, myself and my buddy Trent, we actually have a draft get together. It's just the two of us. Hey, but yeah, so we've been doing that for a very, very long time. And unfortunately, he had plans to attend to while the draft was going on. And so I had to wait to look at anything. And I had my notifications on, unfortunately. So I got to see that AJ Brown got traded. And my lovely co-host over here, Mr. Jose.
That's me.
Decided to call me while the draft was going on and kind of spoiled it for me.
Well, it was already spoiled once you got the notification.
It was, but man, I was so upset. I was so mad.
I saw that and I was like, no freaking way. I was like, I literally picked, as soon as, like, the minute I saw that, I picked up my phone and I FaceTimed this guy because I was like, there's no way. Because so what was all, what was the trade details on that?
So trade details, they traded with Philly. So the Titans traded with Philly, and they got the number 18 overall pick in the first round, as well as a third round selection. So number 101. So pick number 101. I'm not actually sure who they ended up picking with that third round selection, but I was actually kind of glad because as soon as I found out that they had traded AJ Brown, I was like, well, you better freaking pick up a wide receiver, which they ended up doing. They got Treylon Burks from Arkansas. And apparently, like, all of his comparisons were AJ Brown. Like, he's slightly taller. I don't know if he's bigger, but he's slightly taller. He's got less of an injury history and everything. He's a little bit faster than AJ Brown. So I guess we went cheaper and younger with him because part of the reason why we traded AJ Brown was because he was looking for a monster contract. Obviously, with all the other wide receivers getting those fat contracts, Tyreek Hill getting that fat contract, Devonta Adams getting that fat contract, Christian Kirk getting that fat contract and everything, it kind of blew up the wide receiver market, and it kind of hurt us. But what's so crazy about this whole thing is just that. So initially, obviously, whenever I saw that, I was like, "Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me! I'm not happy about this." And I got several texts from people that were not happy about it. But more and more news is coming to light as to like what all happened. So just to give a quick little background as to what's going on. So apparently, I guess AJ Brown took to social media, surprise, surprise, and which is what he normally does. But he took to social media and was telling fans and everything that, it wasn't his fault. He wanted to stay, but basically painting the Titans as the bad guys. saying that, yeah, they just forced me out and all this other stuff. He said that they lowballed him. They gave him an offer of 16 mil a year that would end up being 20 mil with incentives, which obviously if you have even though AJ Brown is really, really good, he's also had a bad injury history. I think he had to have surgery on both of his knees at some point. Yeah, and so obviously the smart play to do, I mean, even though he's a superstar and everything, well, borderline superstar, he's still, I mean, you have to have an insurance policy on that. So he was saying that he was telling Deebo Samuel, because I guess they're boys, didn't think that they were that close, but I guess they're boys. And he told him that it was only a 16 mil contract with up to 20 mil in incentives. And that was actually incorrect. And a lot of people were kind of soured out by that. Mostly because of the fact that he lied to us. He lied to his fans. I don't have any problem with a player trying to get their money, get paid. I have no problem with that. I think that that's great because that you get the bag. That's what you are striving for. I mean, that's part of the reason, other than the love of the game, that's part of the reason why, from the business standpoint, you want to get the money. But man, don't be lying to the fans. Don't be trying to, get everybody behind you and stuff, especially because the truth always ends up coming out at some point. And the truth actually came out pretty quickly that I guess the Titans actually offered him, I want to say it was like 22, with incentives that would take him up to about 25 or so. But he actually, part of the reason why he got traded was because he was actually asking the Titans for over $25 million a year. Mm-hmm. And of course, I mean, he had some issues with drops. He had some issues with availability sometimes. Of course, his mental health was in question as well. He's been posting a bunch of tweets. He'll post a tweet and then he'll delete it. Post a tweet and then he'll delete it. Probably because his agent's telling him to stop that. But yeah, so I feel very deceived. And that's why I'm I'm still going to follow him because he's a phenomenal player. And I'd really like to see how he does with Philly. I do not think that he's going to do well over there. However, because I mean, I don't believe in Jalen Hurts, but they're also boys. They worked out together and everything. So I don't know. I think that the Titans got the better end of this deal just because they went cheaper. It all is going to depend also on how well Burks plays, because if he doesn't play well, then they're gonna look bad. However, I think that Burks he'll play all right because I trust our scouting department and everything. But man, now that Eagles offense looking a lot better now. Yeah, with the exception of quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts, and I think I've spoken on this in the past. I can't remember what episode, but I don't think he's your answer at quarterback. He'll win you some games, but I don't. Well, and the thing about it too is because that division. I mean, you got the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants. So I mean, there's room to make the playoffs because those teams aren't very good. I mean, besides the Cowboys are kind of like up and down, but the Cowboys are the Cowboys. No disrespect,
right?
But other than that, man, I don't think you can go far with Jalen Hurts. Like, nope. If anything, you're gonna have to create a pretty strong defense, a pretty damn strong defense, and do what you're doing now, bringing in a bunch of pieces to pretty much help him elevate his game and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like making those plays that matter, I don't think that he's gonna deliver those for you.
Nope.
And I don't know. Even whenever he was in college, I wasn't a really big fan of his. I don't know. I feel like they need to get rid of Jalen Hurts. I feel like this year for sure will kind of be like the make or break it year for him. Like if he excels and they may possibly make the playoffs, okay, then maybe we'll give him another shot or keep rolling the dice with him. But if let's just say they miss the playoffs, I foresee them for sure going in a different direction.
Oh, you
with
have
the quarterback. But anyway, so I don't know if we touched up on the extension that the Eagles gave AJ Brown. So apparently it's a 4-year contract extension worth up to $100 million, with $57 million guaranteed.
57 mil guaranteed.
Which is insane. So, credit to him for getting the bag. That's really all everybody wants, right? It's just the money.
Yep.
Obviously, winning a Super Bowl would be nice too.
Yep.
But he got paid. That's what he wanted. But I just don't think with Jalen Hurts that they're gonna go very far.
Yeah, and who was the other wide receiver that they drafted last year?
Was it
Devonta?
Devonta?
What is his name? Devonta Smith?
Oh yeah, Devonta Smith. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
over here like who?
I was, for whatever reason, I could not think of the last name Smith.
Yeah.
All I could think of was Devonta. I think it's Devonta.
Yeah, it's Devonta, and he's pretty quick, man. But I don't know if he had like a very good year last year. Like, if anything, it was kind of just like an average, like nothing flashy. He's a really small, and I don't know his
measurables.
His measurables.
Yeah.
I know he's really like small and pretty skinny. I think
He's like 5'8" or 5'9".
5'9". I think he's like 180 pounds or something like that. He's a really small guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's gonna, produce like the way that they were envisioning him to produce whenever they
Right.
first drafted him. But obviously, only time will tell. But there's already a lot of hype surrounding the Eagles' offense. But like I said, I know I said this 1,000 times, but I don't think they're gonna make it very far with that quarterback.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I'm definitely not a believer in Jalen Hurts. I mean, he gets pretty good stats each year too, but I just don't trust him in like the clutch and everything. He kind of wilts under the pressure and everything. But I mean, you might have to look at Devonta Smith, especially whenever it comes to like fantasy time, because AJ Brown's going to be getting a lot of looks. He's going to be commanding a lot of those double coverages, and yeah, so he could be getting Devonta Smith could be getting a lot of looks his way and everything, which is awesome for them at least. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what all happens for the Titans moving forward and everything. But yeah, it's crazy too, because of course, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. And then my heart sank because I don't know if most of you guys knew this, but AJ Brown was probably he was my favorite Titan. Like I really enjoyed watching him play, and I wish him luck, and I hope that he succeeds over there. I'm still going to follow him, still going to watch him while he's with the Eagles and everything. But now his jersey is now going to be hung up in my room as opposed to being worn because he is no longer a Titan.
Oof.
He's not dead to me yet. But yeah, so I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what happens, because anytime something shakes up the NFL like this, man, really gets me randy.
Ooh.
Gets my juices going.
All right.
But yeah, so moving on, we had, what's kind of crazy is we had another Brown move from one team to another, and it's so weird how we were just talking about the trades right before we started recording. It's kind of crazy how like similar they were just in trade compensation. So another Brown is on the move. The Cardinals have actually traded for Hollywood Brown. They traded their first round pick, so the number 23 overall, to the Ravens. The Ravens for Hollywood Brown and a third round pick, which was number 100. Which the reason why that's kind of crazy is because actually the Titans ended up getting a third round pick, the pick right after that. So, but man, that's gonna make the Cardinals offense kind of lethal.
Really nasty, dude. They have I freaking saved the picture earlier. So they have freaking Rondell Moore, AJ Green, Marquise Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, of course, James Conner, and Zach Ertz. Like that's a pretty nasty offense. And yeah, Zach Ertz isn't in his prime. DeAndre Hopkins, he's not. He's still good, but
he's on the later end of his prime.
There we go. Nicely said. And then AJ Green, obviously, he's
past his prime,
way past his prime, but they still got a really good offense.
Yeah,
and their defense is pretty good still. So this is definitely going to be a pretty interesting team to watch. Really excited to watch them.
Yeah, and it's going to be another situation, kind of like, because I like Kyler Murray, but how much do you trust him?
Well, another thing too is off topic too, kind of. So like, cause Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown, they played at OU together, and they were pretty good friends over there. So I know they're both really excited to get back to one another. It's gonna be a fun connection to watch.
It's gonna be very similar to how Derek Carr and Devontae Adams are now back together.
Right,
man. And what kind of started it all was the whole the Burrow chase.
Oh, and freaking Tua and
Connection.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of duos, college
Man,
teammates coming together.
Which is nuts because like that's the stuff that only happens whenever you like create a player in Madden.
Yeah.
You know, like cuz you and your boy you guys want to play together and everything. So man, that's crazy that all these connections are coming back. We'll see if any of them like come to fruition and are good. The only thing that kind of, like I said, the only thing that kind of bothers me about that. Now, the Cardinals offense, it should be fun. I thought it was going to be more fun to watch last year. They started out really strong and everything, and then they kind of tapered off.
Well, they had injuries too, or
They
like
did.
I think Hopkins was out for a little bit. AJ Green was out for a little bit.
Yeah, AJ Green was banged up.
Christian Kirk had to kind of step in and fill that role for a bit. But they were kind of up and down the year. Like after the first 7 games or so, they were really
absolutely.
up and down.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see it, especially since Kyler Murray, he's got an arm, so he can push it down the field if he needs to, and that means that D-Hop, he's still, like I said, on the tail end of his prime. He's probably got, I would say, maybe 1 or 2 years left of being a top wide receiver,
Right.
but yeah, and so now you got Hollywood Brown, who's a speed demon, he's a speed merchant. And so you got these guys. Who do you double now? Probably Hopkins.
Probably Hopkins. But
Actually, no, probably Brown, because you never know if Hopkins is going to get injured again.
Well, Hollywood Brown, dude, he's a speedster.
He is.
Yeah, there's no catching up to him once he hits the open field.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so, sorry, Carter. I know that you were he was a Hollywood Brown fan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to OU. He was a Raven. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Carter. I hope you're watching. I hope you are. But hey, I feel your pain. We both lost. Well, next time I see you, big ol' hug. That was an e-hug for those of you who were wondering. But yeah, so those trades, I wouldn't say completely shook up, but they were the talk of the draft,
Right.
which was nuts because obviously you always like to see a little bit of drama unfold, especially since this draft class was kind of underwhelming, not overwhelming. They were kind of underwhelming. A lot of people were talking a little bit of shit on it and stuff, but like I said, I ended up getting to watch the draft. And did you get to watch the draft, or did you just follow it?
I watched I watched the draft, like picks like 11 through till the 21st pick when the Pats had supposedly the 21st pick, and then they traded to the Chiefs.
Out. Yeah,
I watched till then, and then I kind of just kept up with it after that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's been an interesting draft so far.
Yeah, yep. And as we're recording this, it's probably coming to an end. So next episode, you will hear us talk about who Mr. Irrelevant was, maybe if the draft's over. But anyway, we appreciate you guys watching and sticking around. If you guys have any comments or anything, let us know. Like, we like to interact with you guys, and the comments section lately has been a little bit dry. So I say lately, it's usually dry. But yeah, like I said, we like to talk to you guys. We like to get your insight and everything, because at the end of the day, that's why we do this. We enjoy talking football. So, Mr. Jose, do you have anything else for our lovely, lovely viewers?
I do not at the moment. Just thank you for watching, listening. Watch out for next episode.
Absolutely. With that being said, we are on all the streaming platforms per usual. You can hit up firstroundbuy.com. Get you some cool merch and everything. And because it's a hot one today over here, we're in Oklahoma, I decided that probably going to have tank tops coming in pretty quick. So be on the lookout, pick you up a hoodie, even though it's about to get really hot. We also have t-shirts available, and we should have some more merch coming pretty soon. So keep an eye out for it. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.